Hello and welcome to part 2 of the History of Movies lecture. Since 1963, Americans have purchased 1 billion movie tickets a year. Movies are popular because of the movies they tell and the way that they tell them. According to our text, the most popular films have a compelling narrative, fantastic special effects, great cinematography, supportive, realistic sound effects, and often a great score. What's the top box hit of all time? Well, our number one ranking, bringing in $2.75 billion in ticket sales, is Avengers 4 from 2019. Number 2 ranking is James Cameron's sci-fi fantasy Avatar from 2009 at $2.7 billion. And our number 3rd is still another James Cameron's at $2.1 billion, the Titanic. Here's a list of the global box office's all-time theatrical grosses. We have Avatar 4, Titanic, Star Wars, Avengers 3, Jurassic World. Hollywood still dominates the global movie scene. So presently, American-made films capture up to 90% of the market, with foreign films at less than 2%. Bollywood is a top producer, though. They produce roughly 1,000 films a year in India. They started in the 1970s and are known for their high action, musical, romance, suspense, a lot of color, very fun to watch. We have Chinese films. For the first time ever, Chinese box office has surpassed the U.S. in 2019. They ranked, their number one ranked film was Dying to Survive, which the government's response was to promise to make life-saving drugs more available, as the movie focused on life-saving drugs being unavailable for certain demographics in China. And the second one was Amazing China, which was often seen as a somewhat propaganda-like film. We also have Japan films. Director Akira Kurosawa directed Seven Samurai in 1954. That was actually remade as The Magnificent Seven in 1960, along with The Hidden Fortress in 1958. These films were both inspiration for George Lucas's Star Wars. So next we have media convergence. So movies are moving to the digital realm. In 2010, the Blockbuster Superstore, well known in the 90s for your nightly rental, filed for bankruptcy. The last one in the world is located in Bend, Oregon. This is a New York Times article hyperlinked from 2019. So Bend, Oregon is still open and running for business. Much of the bankruptcy related to Blockbuster, as well as any other video rental stores, was due to Netflix. So Netflix is an American-made media service provider and production company that is headquartered in California and was founded in 1997 by Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph. Netflix was founded as a result of the Blockbuster late fee. So the DVD boxes still have subscribers, but Netflix CEO Reed Hastings came up with the idea after getting socked with a late fee for a movie rental at Blockbuster Video. Netflix launched its first DVD rental service in 1998, still has roughly 4 million subscribers. So the digital turn and Hollywood's response. So one was Hollywood will lean more heavily on making films that have a lot of special effects, as people want to see those on the big screens. In fact, if we look back at our box office hits, they are very large screen movies. So a lot of action, a lot of explosive scenes, a lot of color. These are movies that people would justify to see on the big screen. Their second response to the digital turn was to have farther reach for their secondary genres. So for instance, movies that just wouldn't make it, so they plan to increase that distribution of like such independent documentaries, lower made films, because they get a bigger profit from something that would usually be harder to market. In regards to marketing plans for movies have also changed with the digital age. So similar to books and what they were doing to engage social media, movies are also using social media to the fullest, with constant updates on opening nights, characters, plots, and so forth. But 2012 was the first time that movie fans accessed more movies through digital online media than through physical copies like DVDs. So providing streaming is less expensive than distributing DVDs, but they had to find to make a way to make it lucrative, which is these are the two options. They made loud movies, more of them, and they increased farther reach for stuff that kind of would not make as much of a profit in general. So in March of 2020, in response to the stay-at-home order, Universal started offering their in-theaters movies for $20 for a 48-hour rental. So you will notice these if you have Comcast or any kind of movie rental system on your cable company, that you can buy movies that are actually $20 that are still in theaters. So oftentimes Universal was the first to start this, and eventually more will follow. But it created an opportunity for the movie industry to still make a profit, even though people were not going to the movies. Regal, however, responded, which they are the largest movie theater, and was shutting down almost 600 theaters, a total of almost 8,000 screens. So obviously, as it is May 2020 right now, or June 2020 right now, we will be waiting on the fallout at all of this. But interesting article, which is hyperlinked right here. Okay, so here's all the sources that we used in these two lectures in regards to movies, the history of how they developed, and where they are now in the digital age. I suggest you take a look at it. Here is our online textbook that you can locate for free. Chapter 4 does a good run through of kind of the digital aspect more in depth. Okay, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in our next lecture.